This train was just loaded with thousands of tons of cargo, moving through the cold night near Hinton. Miles away, a passenger train is already on the same line. The Supercontinental, carrying people across the country. Inside the cab, the engineer keeps his eyes on the track ahead while signals flash past one after another. Red. Another one. Red again. Signals meant to warn. Signals meant to stop the train before anything goes wrong. But the train keeps moving. Both trains now, on the same track. Speed climbing. 70, 80, 90, 100. And then... what happened next took seconds, but it became one of the deadliest rail disasters in history. Canada. Just after 9 p.m., at a station along the line, the Supercontinental comes to a stop, and as the train settles, the doors immediately open, allowing a few passengers to step off while others climb in with their bags. Within minutes, everything is done, the doors close again, the signal clears, and the train begins to move. Inside, the atmosphere is calm. Some passengers sit quietly, others rest, and a few look out into the night as the train gradually picks up speed. Further down the line, another operation is underway. Train 413, a freight train, is being prepared to depart. Its cars are already loaded with cargo, heavy enough that once it gets moving, stopping it won't be easy. Final checks are completed, the system is set, and clearance is given. The train begins to roll forward, slowly at first, then building momentum as it moves out onto the main track. Now both trains are on the same railway line, moving in opposite directions, separated only by distance, timing, and the signals placed along the track to control their movement. Those signals are simple. They tell a train when to continue, when to slow down, and when to stop. And as long as those signals are followed, two trains are never supposed to meet like this. But on this night, something is already going wrong. One train continues forward, the other does the same. And the system meant to keep them apart is no longer doing that. And now, the distance between them is closing. As the Supercontinental continues its journey, moving steadily through the night, everything inside feels exactly as it should. Passengers sit quietly, some asleep, others staring out into the darkness, watching nothing but their own reflection in the window. The rhythm of the train is constant, and beneath that rhythm, something else is always there: control. Because a train like this doesn't just move forward, it's always ready to stop. Inside the locomotive, the braking system runs through the entire train, connected from the front all the way to the last car. When the engineer applies the brakes, air pressure moves through that system, slowing each carriage together, bringing the train down in a controlled way. It's designed to respond, to react when needed. Further down the line, train 413 continues its run. But this is not the same kind of train. It's longer, heavier, loaded with cargo stretching across dozens of cars. And its braking system works the same way, but not the same speed. When brakes are applied on a freight train like this, the response doesn't happen all at once. It travels through the train, car by car, taking time before the full force of the braking is felt. And that time changes everything. Because at speed, with that much weight behind it, stopping isn't immediate. Back on the passenger train, everything still feels smooth, controlled, predictable. The kind of movement that makes you trust the journey without thinking about it. But ahead, on the same line, another train is coming. And in a situation like that, the difference between stopping in time and not stopping at all comes down to seconds and distance, and whether the system reacts fast enough before that distance disappears. Inside the Supercontinental, a passenger shifts in his seat, trying to get comfortable. He's been sitting for a while. The train keeps moving. Same steady motion, same sound. He glances around, then decides to stand up, stepping into the aisle and making his way toward the end of the car. The floor moves slightly beneath him as the train runs over the track. Normal. He holds onto the seat as he walks past, reaches the door, pushes through. Between the cars, the noise is louder. Metal, wind, the constant force of the train moving forward. He steps into the next carriage, keeps going. Then, something changes. It's not a sound at first, it's the movement. The train doesn't feel the same. There's a sudden shift, subtle but wrong. He looks up. Further ahead, through the small window between cars, there's a light. Not distant, not small, getting bigger. Fast. Too fast. For a second, his brain tries to make sense of it. Another train, on the same track, coming straight toward them. Inside the locomotive, the engineer reacts. The brakes are applied, hard. Air pressure forces through the system, but it takes time they don't have. Back in the aisle, the passenger grabs onto the side as the train begins to shake. The smooth motion is gone. Now it's violent, uncontrolled. People begin to react, voices, confusion. No one fully understands yet, but something is wrong, very wrong. The light ahead fills the window. No space left, no time left. And in the next moment, everything hits at once. For a moment, there's nothing. Then the sound returns, metal creaking, voices calling for help. Inside what's left of the Supercontinental, a passenger opens his eyes to a scene he no longer recognizes. The aisle is gone, seats twisted, air thick with dust. Outside, the two trains have collided head-on, the front completely destroyed. Rescue teams arrive within minutes, pulling survivors from the wreckage, but not everyone makes it. 23 people are dead, dozens more are injured. Investigators later find the truth. Signals had warned the freight train to slow and stop, but they were passed, one after another. And once they were ignored, nothing remained to prevent what happened next.